Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Annie Miraj Kidai. I hope you all are doing wonderfully well. To know more about me, you can check out vertexasolution.com. Again, I'm addressing a question here. It's written to my email and by a 32-year-old female from India. She had written about it that whether she should get married or not, and she's asking it from me. Okay, so jokes apart, sincerely I'm going to address this, right, with honesty and transparency. To know more about me, please check out vertexasolution.com, though I'm an educator, right? She had asked me this question because she had viewed many of my videos on psychology and human behavior and relationship building on my channel, certainly, and that's why she had asked me this question. Dear, I'm also single, so a part of it, still you are asking this question to me whether you should get married, and I think you should ask this from experienced people who are in certain kind of relationships. But a part of it, what my individual or independent thinking about it is, may differ, may vary, and it's of course everyone's own it's your life. Also, I'm not a marriage counselor, I'm not a counselor. They can definitely guide you better, but still you have posted this question, so I'm acknowledging and accepting your question and answering your questions on the same. Thank you very much for stopping by to this channel, my dear friend, and viewing this channel and finding somewhere related, and you've posted this question somehow. I'm sure something have triggered, and something, not triggered exactly, but some food for thought might be there, and certainly that's why you have asked this question to me. So I wanted to start this video on a lighter note. So alright, so whether you should get married or not, see, of course I can't say about it. I'm sure people who are very, very close to you, they understand your situation of your life better. I have just read your mail, or I have read your message, so on that note I can't say, I cannot answer this question for you. But if in general you're talking about, like, you've asked what is my input on marriage, and like you've put forward a question that sometimes you feel like and sometimes you don't feel like, and there are many things around marriage. So I'm sure many people who are experienced and they can guide better onto this, or a marriage counselor can guide better onto this. But my individual thought or thinking as a person, as an individual, or whatever education I have, on that note I can say marriage is a very, very beautiful thing. I see marriage with a lot of respect, okay, whether it's anyone's marriage. Now, I don't know, because I am single myself and I have not experienced certain kind of a relationship, and I'm a practical oriented individual, like, what I've what's there, what's I might have experienced or I might have seen in the society, I might have spoke about it, or the knowledge in the field of education I share, it's all practical and experiential. So I have not gone through this experience, but what I've observed as a human behavior, and what I read, and what I see in the society, some marriages do not work well. And in this time I've seen people around me that there are a lot of stress in the relationships because of work pressure, because of the pressures of their life, and that's how the pressure or stress can be seen in the relationships as well. Like, people share their stories and experiences about marriages and about what they have gone through. So on those grounds, on basis of the human personality, human behavior that I've read and detail, I've observed in person with people around me, professionally or personally, or in general, like, you know, I've talked to people and they share their experiences with me on those grounds, I can say. And some of my thoughts, what I believe about marriage is, I think it's a very, very beautiful thing, and one must get married, one must have a family. It depends what are your thoughts about marriage. How do you see marriage? Like, if you talk about me, I think what I believe what marriage is, I believe it's a companionship. Like, you find someone, okay, with whom you want to spend your life with. And because at times that person can be, whether a male or a female, they should be your best friend, okay, with whom you can share everything, and there should be a transparency. And I believe that there are roles to play in a marriage, okay. So, and those roles are defined by people in those marriages themselves. So as per my understanding, I've not experienced it, so I cannot comment in detail or in depth about it. I'm sure people who have experienced it, they can talk about it in detail. But what my observation of people around me and the things I see in society, or talk to them in general, or sometimes they have traumatic experiences due to any personality disorders or some violence or something, you know, betrayal or something like that, depending upon the personalities of individuals and person to person, what kind of traumas they have gone through. So of course there are good and bad sides of everything. So, but that the term marriage is pure in itself. It's a very pure and a very kind and a very caring and a very beautiful relationship, right? It's I think it's something very pure, very spiritual. So I have a lot of respect for this kind of a custom and a tradition, okay. A part of it, what do you bring into it as a human being, as a person? That depends on person to person, what kind of a background they are coming from, what kind of education they are coming from, okay, what kind of values they are coming from, what values do they have, and what they bring into it, and how much they value each other, how much they respect each other, how they see each other, and how do they reflect onto each other, what are their contributions in their own relationship as a marriage. That all depends on people and how they would like to contribute to this relationship, to this tradition, to this custom. Definitely there are boundaries also, I believe. There must be boundaries in this relationship where you know that this is the line and you do not have to cross it. In terms of difference of opinions, like, you know, if you have difference of opinion on a particular matter and you start abusing each other for the same, it's not marriage. Then it becomes something else. It's abusive behavior. So that all is the understanding, that's all the education about the matter, and how much you understand each other and how much empathy you bring into this kind of a relationship. I think that's all about marriage. And of course then there is a financial responsibility too. Then their finances are also concerned. How do you administer that? How do you define the roles? How do you take up the responsibilities? How do you manage things around it? So I believe people who are into this, they are like a team, okay. They are like a team. They play like a team. They work as a unit into it, and then they succeed. So any of the person in the same is not aligning with other. So it will definitely bring some kind of friction into the relationship, as per my understanding as an outsider or an observer. Rest, I don't know, maybe when I will be, so I can give you more insights onto the same. But right now I can only say that it's a teamwork, and it's a capacity where you respect each other. So what I believe is love is important, but if you do not, love can be defined obsessive also. It should not be obsessive, like you are always on the head of the other person, you are not letting them breathe, right? So certain kind of insecurities should not be there in the marriage, if whether it's for the female partner or the male partner. So give them space also to think, to think, evaluate their surroundings, and build trust. So what I believe, any relationship in the world, whether it's any relationship, it works on trust, mutual trust, respect for each other, and then love. So of course love is always the most important element, but only love doesn't make it work. Okay, so there should be certain qualities in that kind of a relationship to make it work. And if you believe that these elements are concrete, because for example, why I'm talking about these elements, because they are important. You're going to live with an individual for the rest of your life, for 50, 60, 70 years of your life with that particular individual. And for women specifically in Indian society, they move from their parents' home or from their own homes, wherever they live, and they go and live in someone else's home for the rest of their life, and they leave their whole life behind and they start a new life after, when they are 25, 28, 30, whatever age they are. So this kind of a change is very difficult, but because of the emotional intelligence and the way women are able to, some are able to cope up with it, some get stressed about it as well, some may have other things, some may have to change jobs, change locations, there are many things around it, so that you all have to see before it, right? And then you jump into the pool, right? Once you have jumped into the pool, then you cannot question the other person, because it was your choice. So but you can question that, okay, you have promised me on this and this things, these and these and then things were already discussed earlier, and that's how we have came to this conclusion that yes, we have to go further onto this and in this direction. Then both have to abide to it, what you have agreed on to earlier, honestly. So transparency, trust, respect is important, and of course love is there, right? You have talked about that love is important, what is important. So you love the individual definitely, and trust me, you can't love any individual who don't respect you. You can't love any individual whom you cannot trust, right? Whether it's a relationship of a friend, mother, father, brother, sister, boss, anybody, any individual, trust is important. So if you do not have trust, if you do not have respect in the relationship, and like, oh, we love each other but he abuses me at sometimes, this is not marriage, right? This is not marriage. So or you are marrying somebody for something, that's not marriage. Like anything can be name, reputation, wealth, money, etc. That's not marriage. So you have to see these things where you are compatible. So one more thing I would like to highlight here, that it's all also about compatibility of individuals, that you are able to gel up with each other, you are able to understand the taste of music, you are able to understand the taste of the cuisine. You're going to a restaurant, you're able to enjoy the ambience together, right? If you're talking about Shakespeare, he should be able to understand Shakespeare. So you're going north, he's going west. So there somewhere, sometimes we say definitely opposites attract, but not in extremes, right? Some commonality should be there to talk about. If there is no commonality, then it will be quite difficult, as what I believe. But commonality cannot be with the same profession. It's not necessary that if two people are from the same profession, their commonality to talk about it. No, commonality comes from likes and dislikes, what he likes or she likes, what the opposite likes and dislikes. So commonality is from there, not from the profession. So people who are in the same profession may be extremely different from one another in personality, but there is a possibility people who are from different professions may be may have a lot of things like similar, like doing things, their habits, their eating habits, their background, their culture, their belief system, or the festivals they celebrate, or anything. I mean anything, there should be a common ground. And that's why the success ratio may be higher and there is more happiness around it. I don't know, I can't say more about it. People who are experienced, they can talk more onto this, but what I believe is that there should be similarities of likes and dislikes. If the likes and dislikes are similar, the success ratio is higher. If the likes and dislikes you know, are completely different, like in the taste of music, or the food, or the places you would like to visit, anything, then there is a probability, like, you know, if suppose, if for example, let's say if I like let's say instrumental music, classical music, for example, it's not necessary the other person may also like classical music or a classical instrument, but little bit of understanding of that music connects each other, right? The similar hobbies or similar likes and dislikes, similar eating habits, like if a person is vegetarian and you're also vegetarian. So, but this does not mean that you cannot gel if people are from different like, so they are totally different from you. Depends, you know, it depends what attracts you towards each other. But the success ratio, what I believe, maybe because of the similarity in the likes and dislikes. Like for example, you don't like going out, and you are an introvert kind of a person, and the other person likes going out, okay, like partying, like going to clubs, and you don't like it. So you feel lonely, they feel lonely, and they're going out alone, you are staying home. So a little bit of commonalities should be there. Likewise, if you both are going out together, you can spend time together after work, and you know, you can share what about your day with each other. So that's how you're able to you know, connect more with each other, and the success ratio may be higher. So this is what I believe. I may be wrong, I can't say about it, but this is what I believe. More a counselor or a marriage counselor can guide better onto the same. Thank you so much, although for writing this to me, and do connect with people who are experienced onto the same topic. I have no experience about it, but yet what I've observed and talked and what I've seen and people have shared about their marriages, like, you know, most of the people do share on the grounds of behavior or personalities in the marriage or problems they come across. But how should you connect? What should you expect? Can be you know, can be spoken by those who have experienced the same and can connect on this topic more deeply. But this is what my thoughts and thinking and observations and knowledge around it, and yours may differ and others may differ as well. I hope you like this reply. Thank you very much and have a great day.